Hi guys, welcome to this 30-minute home badminton specific workout. This is going to involve a short warm-up followed by a low impact circuit, finishing with some racket work and footwork. How this is going to work is it's going to be a 16-minute workout. It's going to be made up of 8 exercises and we will do 2 rounds of that. Each exercise will be in 1-minute intervals. So if you're a beginner, you can work for 30 seconds and rest for 30 seconds. Intermediate, work for 40 seconds, rest for 20 seconds. And advanced, work for 50 seconds and rest for 10 seconds. So this workout is pretty much no equipment needed. All you need is badminton shoes to do some footwork movements in and a normal racket and a heavy racket if you have one. Otherwise, just a normal racket is fine. So we're going to start with a downward dog. So we're making a triangle position with our body, dropping our heels to the ground and then just coming forward to a plank position and then pushing back up. So feeling the stretch through the back of our hamstrings, activating our core to keep a nice flat plank. Pushing the shoulders towards the ground and lifting the hips up to the sky. Few more here. Next we're going to sit on the ground and we're just going to go from one knees flop to one side and then across to the other. So we're just warming up the hips. You can lean back onto your hands, just working our hip mobility here. And onto our feet. Next we're going to get into lateral lunges. So we're just lunging, stepping out to the side, lunging down, pushing the bum back, stepping out to the other side. So trying to place our body weight over this outside foot to load up this hip. And then same on the other side, keeping the chest nice and tall, not collapsing too much, staying upright. Feeling a bit of a stretch through this adductor here as well. Our last exercise, we're coming up into our tippy toes and we're trying to keep our balance and just flex one toe up. So we're working on our calf strength here, getting our ankles nice and warm. So trying to stay up on both tippy toes and then lifting one foot up and then the other. Try not to tip too far onto that hip. We're trying to stay nice and centered in the middle. Cool, all right, that's the warm-up done. Let's get into the workout now. If some of the exercises are a bit too challenging for you, then keep an eye up in this corner for some easier alternatives. All right guys, so this is gonna be a low impact body weight circuit, no equipment needed. So we're not gonna be doing any crazy jumps today. All right, it's gonna be 8 exercises, 2 rounds as I mentioned, and you can pick the work interval that you want, whether that's 30 seconds on, 40 seconds on, or 50 seconds on. All right, let's get started. We're gonna be starting with a squat to a calf raise as the first exercise, and let's go. So squatting down and then pushing the hips through and lifting up onto the tippy toes. So just nice and controlled. Maybe your knees are cracking or your ankles, like me. Feet just outside shoulder width. Pushing that bum back and then driving the hips forward. Making sure, as always, our knees are going out towards our 4th toe, not going inwards and not going too wide. We want our feet facing straight on. Good work. Alrighty, so our next one is going to be a plank. So we're coming into a plank position and then we're going to rotate round to the side, back to the middle and round to the other side. Let's go. So keeping that core nice and strong, trying to stay nice and flat through your back and bum. Don't let your hips drop too low or come up too high. And we're just going from one side of our feet back to our toes and then to the other side of our feet. So if we can keep this as stiff as possible through our core, as we rotate, the better. Trying not to sag as we transition. Making sure the wrists are underneath the shoulders. They're not too far out in front or under our body. We want a nice line going from the wrist up to the shoulder. Good work. And break. Next one is we're coming into a static lunge hold. So feet are shoulder width apart, facing forward, hips facing forwards, bending the back knee, and then we're gonna just do a calf raise on the spot. So we're just holding this low position and trying to push through the big toe knuckle, if you can think of that. So through the base of the big toe. We want the heel going straight. We don't want it coming inwards, pushing out diagonally. We want everything going straight. Thinking about the fourth toe knuckle and the big toe knuckle. Those are our points that we're trying to push straight through. Again, we want our knee on top of our ankle, chest up. Good work. All right, next we're doing an upper body one. So it's gonna be a push-up. You can do this on your knees if need be. What we're gonna do is 4 seconds down, nice and slow, 4 seconds up, and then we're gonna come to standing. So we want it nice and controlled. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, stand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, stand up. So you can do this push up on your knee and just go to whatever range you're comfortable with. Good work. All right, next we're gonna go on the other leg into that static lunge hold. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, hips facing forward, feet pointing forward, bending that back knee, chest upright, and we're just going into that calf raise. Foot underneath the knee. Trying to keep this shin nice and straight at a 90 degrees angle. Remember, we're pushing through the fourth toe and the big toe knuckle here. Trying to keep our balance as best as possible. Keep those hips facing forward. We're not twisting, opening the hips. Good work. All right, now we're coming down onto our back. We're going to do glute bridge walkout. So we're lifting the hips up, pushing through the heels, and then small steps going out as far as we can to straight legs if possible, still keeping the bum up, and then walking back in. So this is working our glutes and our hamstrings. So we're trying to keep the hips up the whole time, just small steps, and then gradually back in. Just go out as far as you can handle. The further the better, otherwise you can just gradually progress to going out further. So you should feel this through your hamstrings, really straining here. Keeping the hips nice and stable and up the whole time. Might also feel it a bit through the front of your shins, your tibialis anterior, as your feet are having to flex the whole time. Good work, and break. We're gonna stay down here, roll over into another plank position. This time in our plank, we're just gonna bring the knee across. So we're just bringing our knee diagonally across to the opposite arm, working on our oblique abdominals, so the side muscles on your abs, which are really important in badminton because we're twisting a lot. We're twisting in our smash, we're leaning to the side, so we need our side abs to be nice and strong, as well as the rest of our core. Maybe making sure the bum is not too high, not too low, and that the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Good work. Alrighty, last one of the set. We're doing a curtsy lunge. So we're keeping this knee straight, but we're bringing this back leg behind us and then up, then to the other side. So we're not twisting our hips fully. We're trying to keep our hips facing forwards and really getting that stretch through this bum as we come back diagonally through with the other leg. Just nice and controlled here. This one you might feel tomorrow in some weird parts in your butt. Good work. All right, now we're gonna repeat that all for a second set. All right guys, so now into the second set. We're gonna start again with that squat to calf raise. Really pushing through this second set, trying to stay nice and strong and push through the pain, burn, whatever. Let's go. Squatting down, keeping the chest up and then pushing through those calves, feet, ankles, extending upwards. Thinking about controlling the upwards motion and then also the downwards. So we're not just flopping down again. We're controlling it up and then controlling it down. Okay, pushing those knees towards the fourth toes. Good work. All right, next we're into the plank rotation. So stacking those hands underneath the shoulders, nice strong plank, and then we're just rotating through one side, back to the center, and then to the other side. Try and think of your body as just one whole stiff component that can't be bent. Trying to keep it as stable as possible as we turn through, resisting the urge to sag. Good work. Nice. All right. Into standing, and we're back into the static lunge. So holding that lunge position and doing the calf raise. So you can go as low as is comfortable here. Maybe for you it's a bit more of a narrow stance, you're a bit higher up. Otherwise try and get into a nice deep lunge like you would on court. Pushing through the big toe, knuckle, and the fourth toe. Thinking that as our point that we're trying to rotate on as we push up. All right, Next we're into the tempo push-ups, 4 seconds down, 4 seconds up to standing. If you're up for it, you can try and just continuously do the push-ups controlled the whole time. Otherwise, the standing is more just to take a break. So 4 seconds down, nice and controlled, pause, 4 seconds up. And you can continue that, or you can stand up in between. Also feel free to do the push-up on your knees as well. Good work. Nearly there. Alrighty, now into the static lunge on our other leg. Setting up everything facing forward, feet pointing forward, hips facing forward, knee over ankle, and just slow up and down controlled calf raises. In this position, we've got to activate our core as well, so we're not flopping around. Got to stay nice and strong to keep our balance, as you do on a badminton court when you're lunging. Good, keep going with those controlled calf raises. Knee going towards the fourth toe as well. Really try and pay attention as well when you're doing that next time, a bit late now, of which parts of your calves are getting activated, whether it's the inside or the outside. All right, we're onto our back, we're lifting our hips, and we're doing the glute walkouts. Just small steps, keeping the hips up the whole time. Pushing through those heels. Try not to let your hips seesaw from side to side, so we're not going like this, keeping it nice and flat, facing up to the roof the whole time. The further you go out, the harder it is, so just keep it within a range that's maintainable, but also challenging. Keep the hips up, nearly there. Oh, burning in my shins. All right, back into our plank. We're doing the knee cross. So nice flat plank, and then bringing that knee across to the opposite elbow. So we're not twisting our whole hips across, we're just trying to bring the knee across while still keeping the hips facing flat down to the ground. Making sure the wrists directly underneath our shoulders. Bum isn't too high. Nearly there. Okay, last one, and then done for our workout. So we're into the curtsy lunge as the last one. Feet facing forward and stepping back diagonally, trying to keep those hips facing forward, really loading up this bum at the front here. Making sure this knee is still staying straight and not going any wonky, weird way. Last one here, keep trying to stay strong, nice and poised through the movement. Alrighty, Alrighty, nice work, done. Good work. Next we're into our racket work. So grab a drink, grab your racket. Alright guys, so now we're going to get into our racket work, grabbing your heavy racket and your normal racket, or just your normal racket if you don't have a heavy racket. And first we're going to do some front court. So we're going to start with backhand kills. Then we're going to go into round the head to forehand kill. So we're just going here, here, working the shoulder. And then finally we're going to do forehand kills. So let's get into it. Alright, so starting with the heavy racket in the backhand kill. And let's go. So we're just really pushing through the thumb here, making sure the racket face is facing towards our opponent or the net, nice and flat that way. Keeping nice and loose through the bottom of the grip. Keeping this elbow up, we're really working the grip here. We're not going like this, just nice and quick and fast and powerful through the hand. So really isolating the hand to improve our grip strength here. Good, and 15-second break, and we're onto the normal racket. Same thing again here, just going a bit quicker, faster with the lighter racket. And let's go. So the butt of the racket should be moving quite a lot. You don't want your grip so tight that you can't move it and that it's all your wrist. You want it moving within your hand. So you're using your pinky finger and your thumb to leverage the racket. Oh, should feel the burn. Keep pushing through. Nice, and break. Now we're gonna grab the heavy racket and we're gonna go into the round the head to the forehand. So just keep working the shoulder and keeping that elbow up this whole time. You don't have to move too far, really working the shoulder here. So reaching out and there. Out, there. So as soon as we swing forward, the racket's coming back behind us for a quick back swing, ready for the next shot. The elbow's coming up towards our ear on the round the head, and then stretching out on the other side. Good work, keep that shoulder going. Nice, and swapping over rackets. So really trying to work that rotation through here to get the power. We're not swinging the whole arm. Ready with the light racket, and same thing. Good, keep going. Should feel your forearm burning at this point. Shoulder maybe too. Good, and break. Back to the heavy racket, and now we're into forehand kills. So same thing, pointer finger up a bit, nice and loose through the bottom here. That's where the power's coming from, with the pinky pulling down and the pointer finger pushing forward. Let's go. Just try and keep a steady rhythm here, even though your forearm should be burning quite a lot. Good work, keep it up. Keep that power, nice loose grip. And break, changing rackets. You should still get a decent forearm workout even if you're just using normal racket for everything. Ready, nice and quick here. Let's go. So keeping the arm in front the whole time, the elbow is pretty stable, It's really just the fingers and the wrist working here. Trying to really isolate that hand so that we're forced to use our finger power and forearm strength. That's what we're working on here. Good work, nearly there. And break. All right, into the final round the head to front court drill. So we're working on the twisting motion of our wrist a bit more here. Ready, and let's go. So keeping that elbow, shoulder up the whole time. We're not swinging down, coming back up, just nice and quick. When we're in the front court, if we're hitting hard and fast, usually it's gonna come back pretty hard and fast. So we always want our racket recovering straight away so we're ready for the next one. Good work, keep going. Try to keep your grip correct, even as your forearm fatigues and you wanna let your racket go flying. Try not to do that. Last one here, light racket. Should be flying by now. Let's go. Good work, nearly there. So we're bringing that elbow and shoulder up towards the ear, hitting them around the head, and then over to the forehand side. Keep going. All right, done. Good work, guys. Take a break. Flop that wrist around to get some blood and oxygen back to it. And next, we're into the footwork. All right, guys, so now we're gonna get into the footwork part of this workout. So we're gonna be doing 2 exercises. You can use your racket if you have the space. Otherwise, if you don't, you can just put your racket down and just use your hand. So it's gonna be some front court movement for this one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop from our left leg, if we're right-handed, reversed if you're left leg, onto our right leg, and then back. So we're going, always landing on the right leg, and then hopping back to the left leg. So we're just doing that for the first one. And then the second exercise is we're doing front court, but we're focusing on staying low in our hips and wide. So we're just gonna be going side to side, staying low, working on our feet and our body movement. So changing our body a little bit and staying low and just doing swings with the arm as well. Alrighty, so it's gonna be 30 seconds on, 15 seconds rest, 2 of each. And starting with the hops, let's go. So working on balance and also power here. If you get a bit more comfortable, you can hop a little bit higher or longer. So this is good for our push back in the front court, so we're ready for the next shot. All right, and rest. Ready, and again, same thing. So if you're struggling with balance, just start a bit smaller to begin with. We're wanting to hold the landing and then spring back. Take breaks in between if you need it as well. Just push out a good few hops and then take a break. Nice, all right. Break here, and then we're into the low front court. So we're working on having our feet nice and wide, hips low, and then staying low across the front of the net. Ready, and let's go. So we're twisting our hips, changing our body position, staying nice and low. Trying to keep that racket up the whole time as well. Using those lateral foot movements, turning the hip across when we're coming to the backhand side. Leaning across this way, getting used to leaning out onto that left leg, and break. Good work. So challenging yourself, like I mentioned, with leaning out this way, staying nice and low, twisting here and then twisting back quickly. Different kind of movements. Ready? Second time, final time, let's go. Practicing different grips as well. If you have the racket, you may as well practice your grip changes. Nearly there. Good work, guys. All right, that's the footwork component of the session done. If you're looking to take your workouts a bit more seriously, through my website, you can subscribe to weekly badminton-specific strength and conditioning programs.